or more. Now what's interesting in that is I took a couple of civics courses years ago, and I thought that tax legislation was supposed to start in the House of Representatives. But this is just a precursor of things to come because it's all political at the end of the day. The House is now considering a bill which will extend all the Bush-era tax cuts, which will pass because that is Republican controlled. Now one would think that in normal times they would just go to joint committee and figure it out, because at the end of the day, at least on the income tax side, there's not a whole heck of a lot of difference between the Republican and Democratic proposal. Unfortunately, that is probably not going to happen, which doesn't make any sense for our economy, and at this point in time it's virtually impossible to make any good tax or economic decisions because we don't know what the rates are going to be next year.
Yeah, exactly. So when we're looking at financial planning or estate planning or just investments, right now it's been we have lack of visibility to make really good decisions because of these issues in Congress, right?
Right. Now you mentioned the estate tax issue. Now the Democrats in the Senate did not even come up with a proposal because they could not agree amongst themselves what they wanted to do. The majority wanted to do a $3.5 million exemption with a 45% effective rate. But there was a very large minority that just wanted to push it back to the $1 million and a 55% rate. So there's just complete disagreement just amongst the Democrats alone on the estate tax side. What is interesting though, and this is sort of, you can't take much away from this except with what the Democratic thinking is at this point in time. What they're talking about doing, the Democrats, in this Senate bill is to increase the cap gains rate from 15 to 20%. Also, to keep the dividend rate at 20%. What Bush wanted to do in his budget was to bring the dividend tax rate back to the maximum marginal effective rate, which could potentially be 39.6%. So that's a huge difference between 20 and 39.6%. And one would think just from an economic point of view that the dividend rate should be lower to reward entrepreneurs that are going to put all that cash at risk when they invest in different ventures.
So when you're talking to your clients right now and they're trying to, make appropriate decisions, are you saying just plan for the now or wait and see, or